amandascorner.com. Today I'm going to take you through an exercise called modified split, and it's done on the Pilates reformer. I'm going to show you a few different variations of this exercise. It's one that I like to give to clients of all levels, so it's really appropriate for everybody, and it's fantastic. So let's get started. Setup for this exercise is really important to protect your body. You're going to take your front foot, and it's going to come near the front edge of the machine. So on mine, it's coming up to the solid wood part of the machine, and that's important to protect the knee. We're going to keep the foot nice and parallel. There's a tendency to want to turn and toe out that foot. We're going to keep it straight ahead, and we're going to take the other foot, and if you or your client is able to, you're going to tuck your toes underneath so that they rest on the bottom part of the cushion. And that will allow you to get some additional stretch through the arch and through the toes of that foot. A lot of people have tightness there, so it's just kind of a bonus. Okay, making sure that your hips are squared off. That's very important. You're going to begin to slide back. You can press down onto the foot bar for balance. You're going to start to lunge back, pressing your carriage. I've got one light spring here, so it presses back really easily. You could definitely do this stretch on a medium spring if you wanted a bit more support. So you're just going to slide down until you find a stretch through the front of this left hip. So I'm opening through the hip flexors, through the iliopsoas, and I'm trying to square off the hips. If you need to, if you're down nice and low, it's fine to rest down on the forearms. Oftentimes that's more comfortable, but you want to make sure that you continue to pull the shoulders down so that you're not sinking into your upper body. The other reminder for this position is to lift the belly up against gravity. For some reason, in this position, we tend to let the belly hang. We forget about drawing the tummy up and in, and that's always important in Pilates. So you hold here and you breathe, and if you can stay for 30 seconds, that's great. You come up and you release. I like to have people do 2 or 3. So you come up, take a breath, let all the muscles relax. You'll press back down into it, wherever that level is. Somebody might have a stretch here, it might be down here, it might come all the way down. After they've done a couple of these, if someone is pretty open and they would like to go a little bit deeper into this, I have them press out into more of a full split by straightening this front leg. If they're getting blocked by the frame of the machine, just scoot out an inch and give yourself a little bit more space, and you can press out and get a little bit deeper stretch here. Again, shoulders pull down, tummy's tight, and you're doing your best to square off the hips. And I think that you'll find even just a subtle shift through the hips, squaring them off, makes a big difference in this stretch. Good. Okay, one last thing I want to point out with this particular exercise. That front foot, not only does it have a tendency to toe out, to externally rotate, but the big toe side of the foot, the medial side of the foot, tends to lift. And we start to put more weight on the pinky toe side of the foot, so we're shifting laterally. You want to press down through that foot as evenly as possible. So for a lot of people, they need to seal down the big toe side of the foot and get that weight even through the front foot. It's going to work and stretch the leg a little bit differently. Okay, and come up and release. So another fun thing to do with this exercise is to bring in a bit more core and balance work. So I'm going to keep it on a light, which would be a bit more challenging. Again, if you go to a medium, you'll have more support. This may be that you do it with one hand touching down, and you're going to slide in and out. This opposite arm could be on the hip or out in the air, wherever you feel you have the best balance. Or you could just come up and do a little bit of a stretch. You probably won't get as deep into your stretch as if you were holding onto your foot bar. But you draw in a bunch of stabilizing muscles, a little bit more belly, and it's just a nice variation. Good, so to release out of this, you bring your hands down, let the carriage come all the way into the stopper, and carefully step up and off. So I'm going to come around to the other side. You can repeat any or all of those variations, but I'm going to show you one more thing you can do from that posture, more of a strengthening exercise. So I'm going to add a medium. I've got a light and a medium. You could do this with one heavy, couple springs, just whatever is a good amount of resistance for you. What you'll do is hold on to your foot bar, and you're going to press back like you would come into a stretch, but I'm not into a stretch. I'm not deep enough to feel a stretch here. I'm about halfway down from my range. From here, with the hips squared off, I'm going to press this back foot all the way back through my shoulder rest, and then once my leg is straight, if you can get your leg straight, I'm going to just give a little extra squeeze through this cheek. So I'm working my glutes and hamstrings, and then with the inhale, I'm just going to come in until that knee touches down. So it's a small and intense range. So you exhale, press back and squeeze, and inhale to draw in. So this one helps to give you a nice lift underneath that cheek, right where your tush and your upper back thigh meet. Exhale, press and squeeze, and it should be nice and slow. So you want to pretend like you're pressing through mud in both directions. So you're pressing against your heavy springs to press out, and then instead of letting the springs pull the carriage in, you're controlling that descent. So exhale, press out and squeeze. I usually like to do 8 to 10 repetitions on each side. You could also add this with a little bit of a balance, and relax, and come all the way in. So I like to use modified split for just about everybody. I don't have too many clients that aren't able to get into some variation of that. Most of us have tightness down through the front of the hips. It is a great release. It's a good opener. Sometimes I use it as a warm-up for full split on top. Sometimes I just use it on its own, and I like to put it near the end of class. It's a great way to end class. It's a great way to kind of wind down class, take a moment to breathe, recenter, stretch out, and it feels really, really good. Okay, if you have any questions on this exercise or anything else regarding Pilates, you can feel free to email me at amandascorner, CORENER @charter.net, and I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.